S'mores tortillas? Yes, please. I kept seeing the tortilla trend all over TikTok, so I decided to make them into mini s'mores for my kids tonight. Oh my gosh. My husband and I ate them all too.
Have you ever had that one dish that you didn't like as a kid but now you love it? Well, this is one of them. It's called leche flan. It's a 4-ingredient Filipino dessert and it's so easy to make. I made some caramel and let it cool. I separated some egg yolks, added in some vanilla, evaporated milk, and condensed milk. You want to give it a good whisk to make sure it's smooth and give it a strain to make sure there's no clumps in there. Once your sugar's hardened and cracked, you want to separate into 2 different llaneras and steam it for around 30 minutes and leave it in the fridge overnight to set. And that's it. It's delicious.
Here's how you make salsa cracked chicken. 4 to 6 large chicken breasts, 1 ranch packet, 8 ounces of cream cheese, 2 tablespoons of taco seasoning, 8 to 12 ounces of salsa. Cook in crock pot until chicken is done. Shred chicken and enjoy.
Let's make bananas Foster. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is melt your butter. Once your butter is melted, go ahead and add your brown sugar. Now add some of your vanilla extract. Next, add about a handful of crushed walnuts. Now add your cinnamon. Remove from flame and add about half of your dark rum. Now cut your bananas. Now add in your chopped bananas. Now add in the rest of your rum and flambe. Now add a pinch of salt. Serve with your choice of vanilla ice cream. Fantastic.
Let's make Eddie's favorite.
All right, y'all. Today I'm going to show you how to make tater tots with just a couple of ingredients. A lot healthier than any of these fast food chains and no sort of gunk that they put in it. Start off by shredding 2 potatoes. Chuck those in some water to drain excess starch until the water is clear just like this. Boil some water, throw in there some baking soda. Now throw your shredded potato in there for 5 minutes. Drain it. Season with salt, garlic powder, tablespoon of some all-purpose flour, and 1 egg. Mix all that up until it looks like this. You should be able to form your shapes easily. I'm recording with the other hand, so you guys are gonna have to just make the little shape just like this. Put those to freeze for an hour. Should look like this. Now put those to fry until nice and golden brown. Make sure you move them around so they won't get stuck. And now once they're finished, they should have a nice golden color like this. Throw some fresh salt once they're out the fryer. Dunk it in your favorite sauce, and all done, you guys. Nice and crunchy.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna show you how to make a taco soup. Let's go. All right, y'all. Go ahead up in there with 2 pounds of ground meat. Your Cajun seasoning. Go in there with some black pepper to taste. And some garlic powder to taste. A couple tablespoons. Down, y'all. And let it cook up. Whenever your meat's brown and it's completely done, go ahead and drain it. Add 2 cans of Rotel. I want you to add 2 cans of corn. 2 cans of red kidney beans. Now go ahead and add 2 cups of water with 2 packs of the taco seasoning, y'all. Then pour that right on in, okay? A little bit more garlic, okay? Then mix it up. And then go ahead on and let this simmer for 20 minutes, y'all. All right, y'all, so the soup is done. Go ahead and add in I like some green onion. Add just some jalapenos in there, cheddar cheese. The taco soup is done, check it out.
Let's make the most incredible focaccia you'll ever make in your life. A few ingredients. It's an overnight dough, very easy, fluffy, and so good. I have perfected it, so let's get started. In a big bowl, add in your dry ingredients. 4 cups of flour, active dry yeast, and salt. Stir it all together. After you've stirred it, you're going to add in your 2 cups of warm water. Not cold, not hot. It has to be warm or else you can kill the yeast. Form a nice dough with your hands or with your spatula and oil up your dough a little bit just with a tablespoon of olive oil, and you can leave it in a bowl covered overnight away from drafts. In the morning, it should have risen and quadrupled in size. Grab a 9 by 13 inch pan and cover it with parchment paper and add a little bit of oil. Spread out your dough and let it rest again covered for 30 minutes. Oil it up once more with about 2 tablespoons of oil. Make your dimples. Add your toppings of choice and you could bake at 425 until nice and light and golden.
How I made ramen bun bao using Pillsbury biscuit dough. My brother suggested I use the dough because he saw it trending earlier this year. You want to make sure and use the Grand's flaky version. Ideally, you want to use a rolling pin to roll out the dough, but I don't have one, so I used a wine tumbler. For the filling, I made curry ramen from the package, lapsung, which is a Chinese sausage, and cooked quail eggs. Put the filling in the center of the dough, pick up one side of it and do this folding method all the way around. Make sure you pinch and twist the top, if not you'll have a hole that will open up in the steamer. Place the bun bao on parchment paper and then place it in a steamer. Cook it for 14 minutes and that's really it. This was my first time making it and honestly I loved it. I'm going to try different ramen flavors next time, and here's
Did you know that you can make spaghetti and meatballs in the Instant Pot and it's so much easier than on the stovetop? You don't have to wait for the water to boil, you don't have to drain the noodles, and it only uses one pot, so cleanup is a breeze. This is my favorite weeknight recipe. So we're gonna start with some olive oil that you add into the bottom of your Instant Pot on the saute mode. We're gonna add some onions and some garlic, and you wanna saute those till they're a little bit softened. And then we're gonna add some seasoning, some salt and pepper and Italian seasonings. Stir that together, and then we're gonna add our frozen meatballs. You want your meatballs to be frozen because that will help them keep their shape and not fall apart. And then we're gonna add some spaghetti. You wanna use pot-sized spaghetti or break your spaghetti in half so it fits. Then we're gonna add some olive oil so our noodles don't stick, and a little bit, actually not a little bit, an entire jar of marinara sauce, and an entire jar of water right on top, and that's it. Seal the pot, let it cook, and you're done. Once it's done, open it and toss it together and dinner is served. It was all in one pot, so easy and extra delicious. For the full recipe, visit easydinerideas.com.
These keto pizza pinwheels are one of my all-time favorite recipes. First, you're gonna start by melting 2.5 cups of shredded mozzarella in the microwave. To the melted cheese, add 1 egg and then mix well. Add 1 1/4 cups of almond flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder and mix until you form a dough. Then you're gonna roll it out really thin between 2 sheets of parchment paper just like this. Spread on 1 block of cream cheese. We added some oregano here, mini pepperonis, some diced jalapenos, and then roll it up long ways. It's best if you let the log sit in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes before slicing. Slice it up, throw it on a baking sheet, and cook on 350 for 20 to 30 minutes. We love to serve these with ranch or Rayo's marinara sauce. These are incredible.
Spaghetti aglio e olio is known as a midnight snack in Italy because it's really quick to make and you can reasonably accomplish this under the influence after a night out. It's basically spaghetti with garlic and olive oil, and it takes just about 10 minutes to make. Add a lot of salt to your boiling water and then drop in your pasta. I have exact measurements on my website, Chef Eats, but you're going to want to start with half of your olive oil, olio, and all of your garlic, aglio. I'm using red pepper flakes, but if you had fresh peperoncino, that's better. You want this to sizzle on medium-low heat, but do not burn the garlic. After the pasta has just boiled 5 minutes, add the rest of the oil and then add your pasta to the pan. Add a scoop of pasta water and mix vigorously. The pasta is going to finish cooking about 4 more minutes in the pan. Keep mixing, make sure it's bubbling, and if it gets dry, add a little more pasta water. Finally, you're just going to add a bunch of chopped parsley. Traditionally, there's no cheese or lemon in this dish, and you don't need it if you did it right.
Do not skip past this video if you are a soup lover like me. This is, by hands down, the easiest, simplest 2-ingredient soup, and it is delicious. It's actually 3 ingredients. Start out by cutting 2 sweet potatoes and a large jar of roasted red peppers. You can roast your own, but why would you? And then 32 ounces of vegetable broth. Bring to a boil and then put it in the food processor. Blend it. It is so good.
Show you guys something so easy to make. You probably have all the ingredients in your kitchen right now. It's called caramel pop. Once all the pieces are nice and toasted, throw them into a bowl. Now for the caramel, you're gonna need 3 tablespoons of sugar and 1 tablespoon of water. Don't mix this and let the sugar cook until it turns a light brown. All right, now I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of butter and 3 tablespoons of milk. Now you're just gonna gently mix everything together. Now you wanna cook this until you get a nice brown, rich, caramelized color. Look at that color, it's ready to go. Now we're gonna toss our bread back into the pan and mix everything together. Now you're gonna place this onto parchment paper or foil. Make sure all the pieces are separated and not touching each other. And now you're just gonna let these fully cool down. And there you have it, delicious caramel popcorn bread.
Ariana, and this is some of the most mind-blowing chicken you'll ever eat. It's called takganjeon, and it's this sweet and crispy Korean fried chicken that's unlike anything I've ever had before. The chicken is perfectly crunchy on the outside and covered in an amazing spicy sweet sticky sauce. Start by covering 4 cube chicken breasts with a cup of buttermilk, and then season with some salt, white pepper, and garlic powder. Give that a stir and then pop it into the fridge to marinate for an hour overnight. Then to your bowl add 1.5 cups of flour plus your baking powder, dried thyme, chili flakes, paprika, salt, and pepper. This is going to be the crispy coating for the outside of our chicken, so add your chicken in there and stir it around, and then fry your chicken in hot oil for a couple minutes on each side till they're nice and golden. I fry the chicken in batches so it cooks evenly and doesn't overcrowd the pan. Finally, for our sauce, we're gonna simmer soy sauce, ginger, garlic, sesame oil, brown sugar, honey, and gochujang, which is this insanely delicious spicy Korean fermented chili paste, and then simmer for 5 minutes and coat the chicken. Then top with a sprinkle of toasted sesames, red pepper flakes, and sliced scallions. Let me know which dishes you'd like to see next. Check out the full recipe on my Instagram and follow for more food from around the world.
Today, we're making honey soy Brussels sprouts. Cut off the ends and have the Brussels sprouts. Toss them in olive oil, salt, and pepper. Give everything a real good mix. Lay it out on a sheet pan with some tin foil. Make sure to give those sprouts some social distancing. Bake at about 450 degrees for 25 minutes. While they're cooking, let's make sauce. Chop some garlic, rough chop is fine. Saute it in a saucepan, add equal parts soy sauce and honey, some rice vinegar, and a splash of sesame oil. Reduce this down until it's about as thick as you like it. When the Brussels sprouts are done, pull them out of the oven, cover everything in that yummy sauce, give it a good toss, and serve it nice and hot. So good.
I know this is so far off from authentic chicken parmesan, so I don't know what you want to call it, but whatever it is, it's really good. So I'm starting off by cutting 2 spaghetti squash down the middle, scooping out the insides, drizzling them with olive oil, salt, and pepper, and then roasting them in the oven face down for an hour on 400 degrees. While the spaghetti squash is cooking, I got these cutlets. I bought them just like this at the store, and I'm dredging them in first a mixture of heavy cream and water, and this one is pork rinds that I seasoned with salt, parsley, basil, and oregano. So I'm not trying to deep fry these, but I am going to do a shallow fry in my cast iron pan with some avocado oil and butter, and I'm just going to fry them on each side till they're nice and crispy. Then I'm going to take the spaghetti squash, put it all into a large casserole dish, mix it with some marinara, throw the chicken cutlets on there with more marinara and cheese, and throw it back in the oven till it's all nice and melted. This seriously turned out so good. If you guys try it, be sure to tag me and hit that follow button for more easy recipes.
Today we're making stuffed lobster tails. A lot of people ask me, how do you have a girlfriend? You're pretty ugly, you're like a 5 out of 8. Well, make this dish for a girl and I guarantee you got it locked in. Start out by cutting the shell down the middle with a pair of scissors, exposing the meat. Pry that meat out and lay it right on top just like this. Now let's make the stuffing. Mayo, Dijon mustard, salt, pepper, garlic powder, paprika, Old Bay, cayenne, red pepper flakes, onion flake. Drop in about a cup of that crab meat going with some fresh chopped parsley. Squeeze in the juice of 1 lemon. Drop in 1 egg yolk going with about a cup of panko breadcrumbs. Now mix until the stuffing looks a little something like this. Now season your lobster tails with a bit of Old Bay. Pile on that delicious crab stuffing and get them in the oven at 350 for about 15 minutes. They should come out golden brown and beautiful just like this. Serve them up next to a bed of rice. Drown them in some delicious garlic butter. Dig in and enjoy. This recipe is guaranteed to impress. You have to try it yourself.